There is a dangerous misconception in the business world, and it's one that quietly holds a lot of founders and managers back. Many people believe that financial literacy is only for accountants. They believe that because they can't build a balance sheet, they can't possibly understand one. That belief is false, and the truth is actually much more uncomfortable. You cannot run a business without understanding its financial health. But here's the good news. You do not need a degree in finance. You do not need to be an accountant. And you do not need to memorize complex rules. To understand financial statements, you only need to understand the logic of 4 simple buckets and how money moves between them. Every single transaction in any business, without exception, falls into one of 4 categories: expenses, income, liabilities, assets. That's it. Those 4 categories are then organized into 2 documents: the profit and loss account and the balance sheet. Now, you may have heard that accounting uses something called double entry. That phrase alone sounds complicated, but in reality, double entry simply means this: every transaction affects 2 things at the same time. You don't need to memorize debit rules. You don't need to memorize credit rules. To figure out where any transaction goes, you only need to answer one question: did money come in or did money go out? Once you can answer that, everything else becomes logical. Before we get started, quick note: if you enjoy clear, practical breakdowns of accounting, Excel, and Power BI for real-world business use, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss future lessons. Alright, let's break this down slowly, clearly, and with real examples. I want to show you a very simple mental shortcut that removes fear from accounting completely. I call it the logical shortcut: in versus out. Now, you may have heard that accounting uses something called double entry. That phrase alone sounds technical, complicated, and intimidating, but I want you to forget that fear right now. Double entry simply means every transaction affects 2 things at the same time. That's it. Nothing mystical, nothing mathematical, nothing to memorize. Instead of learning debit rules and credit rules, instead of memorizing charts, instead of panicking when you see numbers, you only need to ask one single question: did money come in or did money go out? That one question will tell you exactly where every transaction belongs. Let's break that down. Rule 1. When money comes in. Whenever money enters a business, there are only 2 possible reasons it came in. Option 1, the business earned it. This is called income. For example, sales. Option 2, the business did not earn it. It was borrowed or given temporarily, and it must be paid back at some point. That is called a liability. So if money comes in and it is not earned, it automatically becomes something the business owes. That includes things like loans and even the owner's capital. Rule 2. When money goes out. Now let's flip it. If money leaves the business, again, you only have 2 choices. Option 1. The money is consumed immediately. It's gone. It cannot be reused. That is called an expense. Examples are wages, electricity, rent, etc. Option 2. The money was used to buy something that still has value, something that the business can use again or even sell later. That is called an asset. Examples are machinery, vehicles, property, equipment, etc. That's it. 4 categories: income, expense, assets, liability, all decided by one question: did money come in or did money go out? Now let's prove this works in real life. We are going to build the financial statement of a brand new UK startup from scratch. The company is called KL Furniture Limited. We will track real-life transactions, apply a simple logic, and watch the profit and loss and balance sheet form naturally. No accounting software, no debit and credit memorization, just logic. Phase 1. Gathering funds. Money comes in. KL Furniture Limited needs £10,000 to start operating. First transaction. The founder, Mr. KL, invests £4,000 of his own money into the business. Let's apply the logic. Money has come in. Did the business earn it? No. That money belongs to the owner, not the business. So the business owes it back to him. That makes it a liability, specifically capital. At the same time, the business now has cash. So the result is capital liability increases by £4,000. Cash assets increases by £4,000. Second transaction. The business borrows £6,000 from a high street bank. Again, ask the question: money has come in. Was it earned? No. It must be repaid. So again, it's a liability. And again, cash increases. Now the result is loan liability increases by £6,000. Cash asset increases to a total of £10,000. And just like that, the business is funded. Phase 2. Building infrastructure. Money goes out. KL Furniture Limited now uses £7,000 to buy equipment and secure a small workshop lease. Apply the logic. Money has gone out. Was it consumed immediately? No. The equipment still exists. It has value. It can be used or sold later. So this is not an expense. It's an asset. The result is fixed assets increase by £7,000. Cash drops from £10,000 to £3,000. No confusion, no debate, just logic. Phase 3. Operations. The P&L begins. Now, the business starts operating. First transaction. KL Furniture Limited buys £2,000 worth of timber and pays for it immediately in cash. Ask the question: money has gone out. Was it consumed? Yes. The wood will be used in production. It's gone. So, this is an expense. The result is materials expense increases by £2,000. Cash drops to £1,000. Second transaction. The business buys another 2,500 worth of timber from a supplier called Sarah Limited to be paid in 30 days. Here's where people usually panic, but don't. Ask the logic questions. Did cash move? No. But did the business consume something? Yes. So we will record the expense, but now there's also an obligation to pay later. That obligation is a liability. The result is materials expense increases to £4,500. Creditor liability to Sarah Limited increases by £2,500. Third transaction. The business pays £500 in wages and utilities. Money goes out, consumed immediately. That is an expense. The result is Manufacturing expenses increase by £500. Cash drops to £500. And now, without forcing anything, we already have a profit and loss account forming. Phase 4. Sales. Income generation. First sale. KL Furniture Limited sells furniture for $3,000 in cash. Ask the question. Money comes in. Was it earned? Yes. That is income. The result is sales income increases by $3,000. Cash increases to $3,500. Second sale. Furniture is sold to a commercial client, Steve, for $4,500, but payment will come later. Again, apply logic. Was income earned? Yes. So income is recorded immediately, but cash has not arrived yet. Instead, the business now owns the right to collect money. That right is an asset called a debtor. The result is sales income increases to $7,500. Debtor assets from Steve increases by $4,500. Phase 5. Financial settlement. First transaction. The business pays £600 in interest to the bank. Money goes out, consumed immediately. This is an expense. The result is interest expense increases by £600. Cash drops to $2,900. Second transaction. KL Furniture Limited pays £2,250 to Sarah Limited out of the $2,500 owed. Ask the logic. Money goes out, but this time it's not an expense. We are settling a debt. The liability reduces. So the result is creditor liability drops to £250. Cash drops to £650. Final transaction. The business receives £4,000 from Steve. Money comes in, but this time it's not income. Why? Because it was already earned earlier. We are simply swapping one asset for another. The result is debtor asset drops to £500. Cash increases to £4,650. The final review. Now let's open the box of everything we've just done. Step 1. The profit and loss account. The total income is £7,500. Total expenses are £5,600. That includes materials, manufacturing costs, and interest. So the profit is £7,500 minus £5,600 equals £1,900 profit. Step 2. The balance sheet. That profit now moves to the balance sheet. Why? Because profit belongs to the owner. From the business point of view, it is money owed to the shareholder, so it's treated as a liability. Now, let's list everything. Liabilities, what the business owes. Founder's capital, £4,000. Profit owed to founder, £1,900. Bank loan, £6,000. Creditor, Sarah Limited, £250. That gives us a total liability of £12,150. Now, assets, what the business has. Fixed assets, £7,000. Debtors, £500. Cash, £4,650. That gives the total assets of £12,150. The balance sheet balances
perfectly.
So you can now see this clearly. Accounting is not about formulas. It's not about jargon. It's definitely not about memorizing rules. It's about logic. Once you understand where money comes in, where money goes out, and which bucket it belongs to, financial statements stop being intimidating and start becoming useful. From this point on, when you look at a profit and loss or a balance sheet, you won't be guessing. You'll be reading the story of the business. And that's the moment you stop running a business blindly and start running it intelligently. Before you click away, let me ask you something. If you've been watching my videos and they've been helping you think more clearly about business and finance, please like the video and subscribe. A lot of you watch consistently but aren't subscribed yet, and that small action really helps the channel reach more people. Also, drop a comment and tell me what clicked for you today or what topic you want me to break down next. See you in the next one.